Welcome. It is 7:30 in the evening in India and we are back again with a spotlight on G20. It's going to be an action-packed show today with focus on G20 meetings on tourism, energy and youth. Let's get started with the top stories. Union Ministers Parshottam Rupala, G. Kishan Reddy and Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel addressed the first G20 Tourism Working Group meeting in Gujarat's Rann of Kutch. Highlight India's tourism priorities as G20 President called for collective action to address challenges facing the tourism sector. Discussions take place on ways for greening of tourism, promoting digitalization, empowering youth with skills, nurturing tourism MSMEs and rethinking strategic destination management. 3-day India Energy Week concludes in Bengaluru. Union Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Hardeep Singh Puri says the forum got all key stakeholders together in the energy sector and its strength lies in its dynamic design and presentation. Youth 20 inception meeting draws to a close in Guwahati. Union Youth Affairs Minister Anurag Singh Thakur launches white paper that will form the basis of deliberations among the youth at Y20. Says the white paper has been drafted keeping the aspirations of the youth in mind. Y20 delegates from around the world laud progress made at the meeting. Day 2 of the ongoing G20 Tourism Working Group meeting in Gujarat witnessed discussions on green tourism, strengthening MSMEs and skilling youngsters to boost the tourism sector. DD India correspondent Shreya Upadhyay reports from Rann of Kutch.
A buggy drive for the staff and delegates for the first Tourism Working Group meeting under India's G20 presidency, surrounded by the magnificent white sands of Gujarat's Rann of Kutch. Day 2 saw panel discussions on the 5 key focus areas of the meeting: green tourism, skill development in youth, strengthening MSMEs, digitalization and destination management. In his inaugural address, Union Tourism Minister G. Kishan Reddy informed that India has witnessed a 4-fold increase in tourist arrivals in the post-pandemic period. The Union Minister also termed tourism as an effective tool to achieve the UN Sustainable Development Goals 2030 and further the vision of a clean and environment-friendly tourism sector.
The Ministry of Tourism, under leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, we are celebrating this year as a Visit India 2023, focusing on inbound travel to India. We also wish to highlight the variety of tourism experiences in our country and showcase them to global tourists.
The Union Minister visited an information stall showcasing millets through Rangoli at the meeting. He also joined Union Fisheries Minister Parshottam Rupala on a virtual tour of tourist places of Gujarat. More than 100 delegates are attending the 3-day meeting at Dhodo, and some of them shared their views on the Tourism Working Group meeting.
We are very happy for the hospitality, we are very happy with the organization, with the whole people here, how the people are dealing. We feel India is very authentic. Very close to our, let's say, environment and our country, Egypt. It's actually incredible in India.
Tourism is a very interesting industry because it brings people together, it brings communities together, it brings destinations together. So I think it is a very good cause, for tourism to meet together for G20.
An Australian guest shared her views on how tourism can provide a big boost to the economy.
Yeah, the hospitality here is absolutely incredible. I mean, we were able to go to the White Run yesterday, and the colors, the dancing, the performances, against that incredible white of the Run, of the desert. Yeah, I can't put it into words.
The meeting venue has some unique attractions too, such as the largest mirrors and tents installation of the motto Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam by Gujarat Tourism, which has established a Guinness World Record at the White Rann of Kutch in Gujarat's Dhodo. A number of events are also lined up on the sidelines of the meeting, which would promote India's rich cultural heritage, ethos, and vision for the future.
The second day of the first Tourism Working Group meeting under India's G20 presidency saw extensive deliberations on the 5 focus areas of this meeting: greening of tourism, digitalization, strategic management of tourist destinations, empowering MSMEs, and strengthening and skilling our youth. These are the topics which are being discussed at this meeting, where delegates from G20 member countries are putting forward their opinions, their thoughts on how tourism can boost economies across the world. With video journalist Kuldeep Sharma, this is Shreya Upadhyay from the Run of Kutch for DD India.
DD India correspondent Shreya Upadhyay spoke exclusively with Sandra Carvao. She is the Director of Tourism Marketing Intelligence and Competitiveness of the United Nations World Tourism Organization on the recovery being made in the tourism sector globally in the post-pandemic period. She said that she expects the tourism sector to bounce back to nearly the pre-pandemic levels in 2024. Take a listen.
Sandra Carvao from the UN World Tourism Organization. Let's talk to her about sustainable tourism and really the working group meeting that is underway under India's G20 presidency. Ma'am, first of all, welcome to India. You are from the World Tourism Organization, and we know that tourism sector is one of the sectors which has been largely hit by the pandemic. Do you see that now getting revived?
Yes, well, I think 2022 was really a much better year than we expected. We've lost, during the pandemic years, more than 70% of international tourism arrivals, so you can imagine how it has been devastating for the sector. But we have seen a very strong recovery. Different regions have different levels of recovery, obviously. Asia is still lagging behind, but we now see that with the open up of many source markets such as China, Japan and Korea, we will see the movement again. India has been having a very good performance, so we are confident that the recovery will continue to be consolidated, and that in next year we will probably be very, very close to the levels of pre-pandemic.
Ma'am, what do we need to do more now to reach that pre-pandemic level?
Well, I think there's two things. One, obviously, we need to consolidate recovery in the destinations which are now opening. They need to open in a safe way. But also, it's not only about going back to previous numbers, it's also to increase the benefits of the tourism sector in local communities, to ensure that we minimize our impact in the environment, and to actually invest in people. We've been discussing this now in the G20 Tourism Working Group. How can actually tourism be that force to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals and make sure that we have a human-centered development, while at the same time, as the team of the president says, we're one family, one planet, and we really need to work together.
How can we really come together as one family, like you mentioned, and find a common solution towards sustainable tourism, and how tourism sector can really battle climate change?
Well, this is one of the priorities actually of the presidency in tourism, green tourism, and we have discussed that during the meetings as well. UNWTO has been working alongside countries, but also the UN Environment Programme. We've launched the Glasgow Declaration on Climate Change, which actually asks commitments from the private sector, but also from governments and destinations themselves to measure better and to invest in decarbonization of their operations.
Thank you so much for talking to us, ma'am. So that was Sandra Carvao from the UN World Tourism Organization, talking about how tourism can bounce back in a post-pandemic world, and how the countries across the world can come together and really find a common solution to the common global challenges that we are facing currently. With video journalist Kuldeep Sharma, this is Shreya Upadhyay from the Run of Kutch for DD India.
And Union Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Hardeep Singh Puri mentioned on the final day of India Energy Week today that the jacket worn by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Parliament today was made from plastic bottles and presented to him by Indian Oil Corporation on the day of the inauguration of the India Energy Week in Bengaluru on Monday. Take a listen.
Day before yesterday, when the Honourable Prime Minister was addressing the plenary, the opening session, the Indian Oil company, presented the Honourable Prime Minister with a jacket made from plastic bottles. And I'm very happy to note that today in Parliament he's wearing that jacket. So what more powerful message can you have on something? And I'm not aware of too many countries in the world where this kind of pioneering work has been done. And this has also come from a vision that he had.
DD India correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya spoke exclusively with Union Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Hardeep Singh Puri on the takeaways from the India Energy Week 2023 on a day it culminated. Listen in.
Sir, 3 days and everybody is floored. All the delegates for ministers who came here absolutely thrilled to see what India is right now and what India is going to become in the next half a decade at least.
I want to start by saying that this is the story of the new India which the Honorable Prime Minister has scripted. I mean, if you look at the individual components of policy, when he became Prime Minister in 2014, we virtually had no green energy policy at all. If you look at what we were doing in biofuels, we were stuck at a measly 1.4%. And that also we were finding difficult to do. The Honorable Prime Minister, after assuming office, he completely changed the narrative and started setting targets. But setting a target is easy. You have to devise the policy coordinates, the policy framework for doing it, and the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Today you've reached 10% blending 5 months before schedule. You're going to reach 20% blending 5 years before schedule.
Couple of takeaways that you believe that this particular India Energy Week can be called as legacy.
See, much about the Indian success story starting from 2014-15 is known to the world, but it's known in bits and pieces. Here you've taken a sector, the energy sector, petroleum and natural gas, green energy transition, and you showcased it in one platform to all the stakeholders. And you're going to do that now, not just on this time basis. Tell me how many other countries in the world do you have where you have the third largest consumer, where you have a comprehensive system for transition from hydrocarbons to green energy, where you have pioneering cutting-edge technology available in a city like Bengaluru, which is the Silicon Valley of India, where startups are not only doing great job, where unicorns. So that is India. And if you can bring some aspects of it today, this year, in the inaugural platform, and we'll bring the other aspects next year. We plan to do it on an institutional basis, on a yearly basis.
Just give us a brief idea, sir, which are the countries, like for instance, we have taken now a lot of energy from US and some other OPEC countries also.
It's very simple. Earlier we had the number of countries from which we bought crude oil or gas was limited. Today, not today, last few years we have been diversifying the sources of supply, and now you have a situation instead of 27 countries, you're buying from 39 countries. The US today is the 4th largest supplier of crude and the 2nd largest supplier of LNG. Now equally countries keep changing up and down because our energy needs are growing, our domestic production is going to grow, we will still need to import, and over a period of time we will change the matrix, and the Honorable Prime Minister has said that we will be a developed Viksit Desh by 2047. I'm telling you it will happen even before that. And for that you will also need energy independence. And now that Atmanirbharta will go to the energy sector in completion.
One thing, Prime Minister, unveiled the pet bottle, unbottled, jackets, and he himself wore it today in the Parliament. You are wearing one. You're wearing one. How you guys plan to increase the, this?
First of all, 10 crore is a large figure. I'll one of these days I'll call the CMD of IOCL in and ask him कि अगर बताइए कैसे चल रहा है 10 crore 100 million तो बात करते हैं बढ़ भी सकता है उसमें no issue.
Also, sir, now we have heard that OPEC has invited India, and there is also talk that in G28 we will be also making a major presence. So, how's things in that department?
No, things are moving very well on all fronts. India's presidency of the G20, I think, is unprecedented. Both the number of events which have been planned, number of cities in which they have been planned, and the kind of response that they are getting. This is work which has started, and I think it will do very well.
What about COP28, sir? How India is going to plan
My colleague, the Minister for Environment, Bhupendra Yadav ji, is better equipped to answer that. But what I can tell you from my side is our increase in energy production imports will not be allowed to in any way diminish or dilute our commitment to the environment and the goals that we have set for ourselves.
Much appreciate your time. So that was Union Minister Hardeep Singh Puri saying that India is on course to become net neutral by 2070, and the energy transition till that period is simultaneously going on. With camera person Mohit Joshi, this is Tapush Bhattacharya for DD India from India Energy Week in Bengaluru.
India Energy Week, the first major energy event under India's G20 presidency, is showcasing different pavilions of major companies from the energy sector. The ONGC pavilion demonstrates the latest technologies used by the company. Tapas Bhattacharya reports from Bengaluru on the distinct features of the pavilion.
At India's flagship energy event, India Energy Week 2023 in Bengaluru, Oil and Natural Gas Corporation Limited or ONGC has recreated an offshore platform that is used to produce oil and gas from the high seas. The ONGC pavilion showcases a number of cutting-edge features to engage the global audience visiting the 3-day international conference and exhibition. The ONGC pavilion has 2 helidecks, one of which serves as a fully functional networking station, possibly the first of its kind. With a 3-dimensional virtual reality center known as the Third Eye Center, ONGC's pavilion offers visitors an intriguing show of the sun's surface habitat of oil and gas and of how the energy major constructs reservoir models based on data secured from drilling. Equipped with a wide range of immersive digital experiences, the pavilion has pillars and demo zones where visitors can understand the intricacies of the Maharatna's expansive operations in the energy sector. Meanwhile, the ONGC production clock showcases how India saves around 6 lakh rupees in every 10 seconds.
This pavilion at the India Energy Week that we have created is in the shape of an offshore platform. ONGC's major production comes from offshore. So we have created a helideck at the back, which is the one of its kind meeting room. Apart from that, we have certain very interesting VR films on Sagar Samrat, on Envis R, which is an enhanced oil recovery platform that ONGC has installed. Then there is the Third Eye Center, the state-of-the-art technology that ONGC uses to create models about subsurface. And apart from them, we have provided space to ONGC-funded startups, one of which is Sagar Defense, which also featured in the Republic Day tableau this year.
With a devoted room for immersive display, the ONGC pavilion highlights the company's in-house service capabilities in all areas of exploration and production of oil and gas and related oil field services. On the other hand, the gaming and quizzing zones at the pavilion offer visitors a chance to understand ONGC's new discoveries. Tapas Bhattacharya's report for DD India.
Oil and Natural Gas Corporation Limited is in talks with globally reputed deep water operators to infuse state-of-the-art technologies in its aggressive exploration push in deep waters of India. The Maharatna held discussions with major operators during the India Energy Week in Bengaluru. ONGC's Director Exploration Sushma Rawat spoke to Tapas Bhattacharya. Here's more.
Joining me is Director Exploration ONGC, Ms. Sushma Rawat, to talk about the exploration bit that they are doing in deep sea. Ma'am, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been talking about freeing the ocean bed and exploring more in there, and we have seen there is a lot of work going on, scientific work. Now ONGC is really going in deep exploration. What are the plans for ONGC?
They have freed the no-go zones which were under the Ministry of Defence restrictions. So along with the freeing of the no-go zones, especially in the western offshore and the eastern offshore, there is more acreage available. ONGC has been trying to acquire more acreages in the offshore. We have a very good perception about the hydrocarbon, that's the oil and gas prospectivity of the eastern and the western offshore. ONGC's target is to acquire almost 1 lakh square kilometers of acreage every year, so that we'll be able to come to a target of around 5 lakh square kilometers in 3 years hence.
One thing that everybody is asking, that have you guys done any preliminary study about what kind of we can get crude oil or from there? Is there any study that has been done by the?
In total, out of the all the 26 sedimentary basins, I think ONGC is the only oil company which has studied the basins, and I myself was heading the basin and petroleum system modeling, which does the generation, the migration and the accumulation analysis of oil and gas for the different stratigraphic levels. So we have done basin scale models of PSM, that's petroleum system modeling, and we have also come up with a common risk segment maps, which sort of details and overlaps the hydrocarbon potential in terms of the generation and the accumulation potential. Now there are
The Youth 20 inception meeting in Guwahati ended today with the launch of a white paper by Union Youth Affairs Minister Anurag Singh Thakur. The white paper will form the basis of deliberations among the global youth at Y20. The inception meeting was aimed at consulting the youth on ideas for a better tomorrow. Lead India correspondent Vishal Baristo reports from Guwahati.
Curtains came down on the first Youth 20 inception meeting in Guwahati. The third and the final day of the meeting started with Y20 India delegates being taken on a Y20 walk at IIT Guwahati campus. The highlight of the day was the launch by Union Youth Affairs Minister Anurag Singh Thakur of a white paper that will form the basis of deliberations among the global youth at Y20 on the 5 identified Y20 themes. The themes include peace building, reconciliation, health, well-being, sports, industry and startups.
I'm also happy to go through your white paper, which has carefully been drafted, keeping your views and aspirations and agenda in mind. I stand by the firm belief that the Y20 India Summit this year would exemplify youth-centric efforts and showcase progressive policy measures ideated by the youth for the youth across the globe.
On this occasion, the Union Minister also spoke on the significance of the Youth 20 Forum.
Capturing the enthusiasm of youth, the Y20 Forum will be crucial as we discuss the modalities and mechanism for developing well-crafted policy recommendations by the youth representatives for relevant G20, Y20 priority agenda. This Youth 20 Forum for future young leaders from all the G20 member countries hold great importance as the youth are in the league to shape the future and lead the coming generations towards a just, equitable and progressive world.
Earlier, the Education Minister of Assam, Dr. Ranoj Pegu, presented research papers on the 5 themes to the Union Youth Affairs Minister. He said that under Y20, 10,000 students took part in various competitions across 55 colleges and universities of states, and 400 students came to Guwahati to listen to the deliberations, making it a once-in-a-lifetime event to experience. Youth 20 delegates from around the world lauded the progress made at the first Y20 inception meeting under India's G20 presidency.
For me, the most important thing is a platform like this, Y20, it gives us, the youth, the platform to engage in a critical way, critical thinking. It gives us a platform to think critically. And also, I would like to thank the government, Assam government, for outdoing themselves in accommodating the delegates from India as well as from the abroad.
The world is a family, so the spirit of the unity and this inception meeting gave us this opportunity to unite the youth from all over the world.
The Y20 inception meeting here in Guwahati has ended with the launch of white paper. The message is loud and clear to the world, and that is peace and unity must prevail. With cameraman Anup in Guwahati, this is Vishal Baristo for DD India.
And with that, we come to the close of this edition of India at G20. Thanks for watching.